ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, we're going to talk about California and how Gavin Newsom is completely and utterly destroying the state and kind of poking in some lies that he's saying like, oh, the oil companies are the reason why this is happening. The oil companies or the gas companies are the reason why this is what's continuously to be causing the issues in California. Little does he know, or he does know, he's just flat out lying, is that it's really all his fault on why the oil companies are leaving, why the gas prices are so high in California, and why everything is just going to shambles. It's all his fault. It was due to all the legislations and all the other high regulations of California that is making gas prices go through the roof and oil companies going down. Gavin Newsom just signed a bill that will pretty much increase the prices of gas here in California, and it is not good. It is going to be detrimental to everything here in California. Take a look.
Hi, Frank. Good morning to you. Well, it's no surprise Californians pay more than anywhere else in the country. The state average right now, right around $4.60. So we have been spending the morning looking for cheap gas. We're over here in Arcadia, just off of Live Oak Avenue. You can see here, well below the average of the state, $3.99 for regular gasoline. Now compare that though to what the rest of the country is spending. Tough to hear, but that national average is right around $3. Now, Governor Gavin Newsom yesterday signing that new controversial law meant to prevent prices from spiking.
Yeah, so as you can see here, obviously the gas prices in California are absurd. They're completely insane. Now, I remember having to spend $80 just for gas because the gas tax, on top of everything else that's in California, it's making it unbearable to live here. This is a terrible, terrible state to live in. Businesses are leaving in droves, either due to crime, due to high prices, or due to horrible procedures or like stuff like this. For example, we have a whole bunch of insurance companies that are also leaving California because it is a shithole. It is terrible. It is awful in every single regard here. And Gavin Newsom is going to say like, oh, it's not my fault that this is happening. It's the oil companies that are doing it. It's the oil refineries. That's their fault.
This is a big damn deal. Big oil, they continue to lie and they continue to manipulate. And they're taking advantage of you. And they're screwing you. They've been screwing you for years and years.
So let's get into this new law. It requires oil refiners in the state to hold minimum fuel reserves. Doing so, the governor argues, will result in more fuel supply, which in turn should lead to lower prices at the pump and prevent price spikes should refineries have to temporarily go down for planned or unplanned maintenance. But the oil industry pushing back, now saying these increased regulations will force refineries to hold on to their supplies instead of releasing it.
So there you have it, where Gavin Newsom is pretty much saying it's a big, big deal, that this is, that the oil companies are pretty much doing gas price gouging, stuff like that. And anybody that doesn't have a high enough IQ or any ability to actually think, that's not really the case that's happening here. This is a huge problem that is happening in California, and it is all thanks to Gavin Newsom. These people just think that, these politicians think that, oh, the environment is the problem. We have to go save the environment. Well, you're not actually helping the environment, and you're not helping the people. The trees need to be cut down. Dead trees need to be cut down in order for new trees and other stuff to be sprouted and contain fires. And maybe protect the millions of actual Californians that don't want to be burnt to a crisp because you refuse to cut down the trees because you gotta protect the trees. The trees are so important. The environment's so important. Well, we can't protect the environment, and we're not actually doing things to protect the environment, and along with other Californians, okay? So let's get that straight out of the gate here, right? And the actual people that are in these oil refineries are saying, no, it's not really our fault. It's Gavin Newsom is going to just raise the prices up.
Nothing in this legislation does anything to lower the price of gas.
The reality here is that there's been promises made here that are not going to be kept. And mark my word, gas prices are going to be up, not down.
This morning, we're hearing from Chevron, sending a letter to California legislative leaders urging them to reject this law, saying it could create new costs and burden Chevron's California operations, hurting their employees and increasing their costs.
Yes, so they're saying it's going to increase the prices. Now, what we're going to do here is go a little bit sidestep of what was really happening. You know how I was mentioning Chevron? Yeah, this company here, this company that is in California. Well, they left about 2 months ago. So that being said, they're no longer here. This is what is explaining on here exactly what's going on in California with Chevron and why this is such a big deal.
One of California's and America's oldest companies is leaving the Golden State for more oil-rich pastures. Chevron announcing today it's moving headquarters from California to Houston, Texas. It's a decision that comes after years of disagreements, and one that consumer watchdog President Jamie Court says makes perfect sense for the company.
They know their days are numbered in California, and while they'll always be making some gasoline, they'll be taking less and less oil out of the ground, and they do not see this as a growth area.
Alright, so this is what we're talking about, right? Chevron is leaving, and they're no longer being here. And the big issue is that we have is that even though that Chevron is actually leaving, there are more crazy things that is actually the cause of high gas prices and everything that is going on in California. Let's go look at this. Look at this. There are how high are the gas taxes in your state, and California is the leading one here. They are the kings of the highest gas price to gas taxes in California. It is 68 cents per gallon. Might as well just be 70 cents per gallon, and that is why everything is so high here in California, or one of the many reasons why it is higher in California. And so the gas tax is just a huge problem. Highest in the state. Then we have here why gas prices are so expensive in California, and part of the reason why is because there's an actual special blend. So it is actually illegal to give any type of other gas that from other states because it requires a special blend specifically for California to be made here. And it says California requires a special blend of gasoline that reduces pollution and costs more money. Again, with these economic things. And then it says California has also seen a drop of 66% in the amount of refineries in operation from where we were 40 years ago. So there we go. So there are fewer refineries producing this special blend of gasoline. Then, that insult to injury. It also goes on to say here, not many other states use the same blend of fuel, which limits California's supply when there's an outage. So, when they're talking about an outage here, it's like, no, you are requiring these gas companies or these oil refineries to make a special type of blend of gasoline, therefore making it not have a huge enough supply. So, it doesn't matter. And now that we have this, is that it's a huge problem. When there's an issue, and it goes on to say here, when there's an issue at one of our refineries, Alan Venegas, as Senior Public Affairs Specialist at AA, told CNBC. So, it is a huge problem. The isolated market means that any outages will lead to volatility in prices at the pump. And let's put a huge slap on Gavin Newsom. As we see now, days after Gavin Newsom signs bill aimed at big oil, Phillips 66 says its plans to stop operating refinery. So instead of actually wanting to lower the prices, gas prices in California, Gavin Newsom has increased the gas prices of California because now there is this one oil refinery that cannot make the special blend of gas. So now, since it's happened, the gas price is going to go up even more because it's own refinery left. There's going to be less supply, and now there's going to be less people to do it, and now there's going to be the price is going to rise on top of the bill that they signed, and then on top of the oil refinery leaving. Gavin Newsom is single-handedly destroying this state with every single thing that he does. It is absolutely insane. And of course, we have here this: Texas scores a goal on California as Chevron moves headquarters to Houston, Texas. So, of course, we're going to have a whole bunch of problems here, right? And refinery operations in California. There is 17 refineries. So, 2 refineries have left. That means we have 15 refineries left in California, and it doesn't look like they're going to be coming back anytime soon. And of course, California wants to move to accelerate to 100% new zero-emission vehicle sales by 2035, so they don't have any incentive to want to innovate and make more oil or make more gas here in California, because they're going to be removed out of the state anyways by 2035. This is a huge freaking problem, and it gets worse.
California has been aggressive on pushing toward clean energy. In one example, just last year, the LA County Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to ban new oil and gas extraction and phase out existing operations. Chevron CEO telling the Wall Street Journal policies like these raise prices and hurt consumers.
So yeah, now what they're doing is that LA County has, with the new environmental thing and for the environment, they ban extracting of oil and gasoline and making it to because we have to save the environment. That's what they're doing. So now it's just raising prices for everybody else. And again, it still gets worse as the people that are doing these refineries are leaving, and they're not going to, and they're saying this is going to increase prices.
Last fall, Chevron and several other big oil companies were sued by the state of California, alleging a pattern of lying to the public about potential global warming risks linked to fossil fuels. Chevron officials have argued against the lawsuit and pushed back against California's climate initiatives.
It's definitely California versus big oil, and we're saying they're not welcome. On the other hand, we're welcoming all sorts of clean energy companies.
So, not only that is California continuously stabbing themselves in the foot, they're suing the oil companies that are giving them gas, and they're making them leave because of the environmental and not clean energy and stuff like that, right? And by doing this, you're just making it like, well, we don't want to, we're not welcome here. It doesn't feel like we're welcomed here, so maybe we should just pack up and leave. Maybe we should just leave and just not be here at all anymore. And this is the actual downfall of what this state is. This state is god-awful. Gavin Newsom has been caught red-handed, as I shown you, that he is the actual reason onto why gas prices are higher, why these oil refineries are leaving, and among other things, because these are the things that they're doing. This is all thanks to Gavin Newsom and his terrible governing.
What do you think about the prices?
It's just ridiculous. The gas is just, I hope they can get control of it pretty soon. And we can live peacefully, live happily, budget our money a little bit better.
I'm sorry, my black brother, but unfortunately that's not happening because, as you can know, the Phillips 66 is now leaving California, and that is going to increase the actual gas prices here in California. On top of the bill that Gavin Newsom slapped, which most oil companies are not going to want to do, and just going to say we're just going to leave the state, and everything else is just going to increase the prices. Not to mention, they are not going to remove the actual 68% gas tax that is on these Californians, so you're just going to pay significantly more in prices, and we're just all getting hosed. California is toast. It's roasted. Get out while you can. There's a reason why there's an exodus. There's a reason why California is a pit stain that nobody should live in. It is draconian at this point, and it's all thanks to Gavin Newsom.
Governor Gavin Newsom going on to say we're not going to see these prices go down until about this summer. That's when he expects this law to really go into effect and make an impact.
Yeah, so when we go and talk about this stuff, right, we're talking about like, oh, well, it's not going to take effect until, until the summer of 2025. She didn't say 2025, but it pretty much 2025. We're already out of the summer here in this country, right? All right. So it doesn't really matter. But the point is that even though that Phillips 66 is going to be leaving it by 2025, that's when the gas prices are going to skyrocket anyways, because the summer, usually in California, the gas prices always go up, and since they go up, it's going to be even worse. So it's going to be on top of multiple things. It's going to be on the oil company the Phillips 66 oil company that's leaving. And by the way, this is just one oil refinery that's leaving. So there could be potentially more oil refineries leaving in the next few weeks to few months of this happening. So that could make it worse. On top of everything else that, the law that they put in place, where it's going to that's gonna increase the prices, and then put on the added addition of the summer prices that's gonna go on, it's just gonna be so much worse that it's gonna be insane. And by the way, Californians, if Trump does win and you understand why gas prices are not going to go down, well, the gas prices are not going to go down as much as you think it is, because thank your politicians, thank Gavin Newsom for doing this, because they're the ones that are putting all these laws into place that is making gas prices stay up instead of down, all right? And that's just the reality. You can't fix everything. Trump can't fix everything. It's going to have to go down to the local level. And this is going to have a mass exodus problem in California again, because people are not going to be able to live here because the gas prices are just way too high. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.